And good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is July 24. It's Wednesday. How are you? Middle of the week. Don't say it because you know how I feel about it. So, welcome. Good evening. Hope everyone had a great day. And so let's dive right in. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. That's right. It's Walking Leader Wednesday. I'm reading from the second good book, my book. It's great to follow. It's the second book in the Walking Leader series. And today we're going to dive right in. We're going to dive into the rules. Rule number 1, you know nothing. You know nothing. That's right. That's right. When it comes to starting any new job or filling a new position, there is one thing you should fully grasp and know without fail. You know nothing. That's right. By knowing nothing, I mean you are green as the day is long. Sure, you completed basic training or vocational school or college or graduate school, but you know nothing about the real world that you're about to enter. Unless you have worked in the real world before or while going to school, you absolutely have no clue as to the mess you are capable of making, or how deep the mud you're about to step in truly really is. Very few training or academic organizations have any inclination as to what the real world is all about for their graduates, and they really don't, because a lot of them are still using, well, the perfect example in the textbook or the electronic book, the e-book. Sure, they offer their students access to case studies, and you are afforded an opportunity to subscribe to your own chosen vocation's professional journal, but all of that is sterile and, well, obviously detached. In most cases, the information is so old that it is of little to no value to the student, and especially those that refuse to change with the times. You're going to find they're still out there. They're still out there, but again, you need to step up. So then comes where you will work. With the exception of the United States Armed Forces, no other organization guarantees you job placement after your schooling. After signing up for a 2, 3, or 4-year hitch with the Armed Forces, it sends you to an 8 to 13-week basic training there before you even see your first job at a base or ship somewhere on the planet. And in the public and private sectors, you are expected to have the minimum education and skills required, the requirements met before you even think of setting foot into this human resources department. Stick with me. Here's where the you know nothing part really truly comes in. You might know how to do your job, but I can all but guarantee you do not know how your employer wants it done. If you have never worked for your current organization before the job you have now, then you also know nothing about how the corporate culture, other than the well-groomed public-facing side you and the rest of the world have seen or know or understand, and this is like through the website or through commercials about the organization or other promotional situations. The need for every organization, no matter the size, to have at least a 2-week to at most a 1-month orientation course where the sole purpose is to ensure that every new hire learns, understands, and lives the organization's way of doing business. That culture is of the utmost priority. Unfortunately, due to almost always need for boots on the ground, well, small businesses might be able to commit 2 or 3 days to get the new hire up to speed. But if you find yourself in the latter situation, then immediately assume the role of a sponge and soak it all in, folks. That's just the way it is. But far too many people go in with this mindset of, well, I know everything. I'm here to save the planet. I'm here to save the world. I'm here to save this business. That's why they hired me, and that's where animosity happens. That's where dissent occurs. That's where the disconnect happens. And most of all, that's where people fail at their first job, because they go in thinking, oh, well, I've got a degree now. I know everything. Sure, you might know everything as it was in school. You might have graduated top of your class. Fantastic. Congratulations. Magna cum laude, summa cum laude. But does that really mean that, you were able to deliver? You're able to deliver the way the company wants it done? No, you don't. You don't. And even then, it's like I was talking about the military, the basic training, the advanced training, before you even set foot at your first base. trust me, you arrive at that base, you don't know how they do things there. Because when I was in the military, my first assignment was the Berlin Brigade, very prestigious unit. And it was, well, they told us right away. There's two ways of doing things in the military. There's the Army way, and then there's the Berlin Brigade way. And that was it. And then I went to my next duty assignment, and so on and so on, and every other duty assignment I've ever heard others go to. The same thing. There's the U.S. Army way, and then there's the 101st Airborne Division way. There's, okay, you see what I'm talking about? There's the 82nd Airborne, the 18th Airborne Corps. There's the 197th Brigade way of doing things. So yes, you know nothing when you get there about the way they do business, unless you've been there before. And in the military, you stand a pretty good chance of rotating around if you plan to be around there long enough. But in any organization, now, in the 21st century, the average employee will hold about 5 to 6 different jobs. So that's 5 to 6 different things you're going to have to know nothing about and learn and soak up like a sponge. So without hesitating, be the sponge. Realize you know nothing, but also understand that you're the sponge. Ask those questions and soak it in. Don't just stand there and just look at them, yap and say stuff. Understand what they're saying and ask questions. And if you still don't understand, it might frustrate them, but guess what? Getting that out of the way up front is definitely a lot better than trying to deal with it later on down the road. And that truly is a much better thing to do. So understand that no matter what, you still know nothing. And but your opportunity is there to soak it in, learn it. Folks, my name's Dave Guerra. This is Let's Have a Chat, Walking Leader Wednesday. I read from Chapter 1, Rule 1, You Know Nothing, from the good book, Great to Follow. Until tomorrow, have a great rest of your evening. Have a great Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. Have a good one.